Football Hawksby, Sam Delaney here on TalkSport, and we're joined in the studio now by Sam and Chris Grizovic. Of course, you'll know the name well from football circles. They've had Steve, a great keeper. And guys, good afternoon. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, this is an amazing story. I'm just going to let you guys tell it. So take it away.
We're doing a charity trek on the 1st of May in memory of our grandfather and in support of the Alzheimer's Society. And what we're doing is we're retracing his steps, I guess is the best way to describe it. Our grandfather, Nick, came across from what was then Yugoslavia during the Second World War. He'd seen his father shot in the village square by sort of invading Nazis. His father was part of the resistance that helped keep them at bay. And it was decided, he was only 14 at the time, that they should get him out of the way because otherwise he might be next. And what then happened was kind of a 4-year journey where he sort of escaped under machine gun fire, fought his way through, ended up getting put in a POW camp in Italy, and then eventually came over to the UK, met our gran, and somehow managed to produce an FA Cup winner because the guy couldn't catch a cold, bless him.
Yeah, it's an amazing tale, and Chris, you never really got a chance to talk to him about it, did you? Because it was something he didn't want to open up about.
No, absolutely. I mean, whenever we sat there and started to ask him questions, which we obviously do, you could just see it wasn't something he felt overly comfortable talking about. And it was only sort of when we sat there and spoke to our parents when it was coming towards the end of his life, and they filled in a lot of the gaps, and you start to get an appreciation of exactly what he'd been through. And more to the point, he managed to go through all of that, eventually arrive in the UK, bring up a family and live an incredibly happy life. And when you sit there and you look at things now, I mean, I don't know how I deal with going through something along those sort of lines, but he did, and came out the other side and went on to be a very happy and successful person in his own right.
So you're embarking upon this crazy 1,500-mile journey from Mansfield, where your family home is, out to his old village, which was in Yugoslavia, is now in current-day Croatia. Like, how did you come up with this idea, and do you regret it now?
Well, Chris has always been on about going back, so I'm sure he thinks we've got some birthrights to some land. So. Yeah. Chris always joked, but I mean, Grandpa never returned, so he never knew what happened to some of his family over there and things like that, 'cause his mum and his sisters and things. And obviously there's been a lot of political instability in the area, so we always spoke about returning. And then we decided, well, what a great opportunity to try and raise some money for charity and doing something a bit different. We're both pretty busy, so we couldn't take the time off work to walk the whole way. So we thought, well, let's do what he did. You know, he left home with pretty much nothing in his back pocket, albeit he was sort of chased out by machine-wielding Nazis. We managed to skip that bit. We're not going to do that from Mansfield. But yeah, we just thought, why not, you know, put 20 quid or modern-day equivalent of what he would have had in our back pockets, and let's see how we go.
You're going to rely on the sort of goodwill of people and just try and do it, the sort of milk the human kindness route.
Yeah, I mean, the Alzheimer's Society had kindly put in letters together in about 5 or 6 different languages, which are going to explain what we're doing, why we're doing it, I guess verifying that it's 100% legitimate. And yeah, we're just going to have to rely on, like we said, our legs, generosity of others, and hopefully that will get us there in less than a week.
So it won't necessarily then take the most direct route. I mean, you've obviously got a route in mind, so but it may vary slightly.
Well, we've tried to not plan as much as possible because he wouldn't have done. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we're going to try and head in that general direction, but that could take us on some wild and wacky adventures, which we're hoping it will. And we're going to. One of the benefits we've obviously got now, technology. We can record some of it and take photos. I'm sure we'll have some great stories to tell.
And so the village is called Burlog. What do you know about it?
Next to nothing.
Right.
I mean, we've tried doing the research. We've been on the internet. We've gone on Google Maps, all that sort of stuff. And there just isn't a great deal about it. I mean, we think we're going to turn up and it's probably going to be a few disused farmhouses, whether there'll still be a few people there, whether there could be family there, which is the major thing. You know, he left sisters, and they're going to have gone on to have children and grandchildren, so there could be family, there may not be, we just don't know.
Obviously, your surname, Grizovic, is very distinctive here, and who knows, maybe it won't be exactly like
Smith. Could be Smith in Burlog, yeah, of course.
Smith in Burlog, but let's hope not, anyway.
I would imagine that in that, there probably is sort of still people. You've not checked whether there's any relatives, any cousins or nephews or whatever?
We've tried. It's very, very difficult. I mean, where it is remote. You know, I think Croatia's a massively developing country, but I think sort of the area that he's from is still very much farming communities. I very much doubt they have high-speed broadband and all that sort of stuff. But that's part of the adventure, you know. We get to go there
So
and
what's
find
the
out.
nearest city? Do you know?
Well, there's a place
that's where
called
you're gonna have to catch a
Ottercheck.
plane
Yeah,
from.
there's a place called Ottercheck, which I'm sure we'll be able to pick up a train journey from, and then we'll probably.
Zagreb is probably the nearest big city, is it? Or is that right? Or not?
Yeah, you've got Zagreb, and you've got the place down on the beach as well, which everyone's going to now.
Dubrovnik?
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we might try and get a flight back from Dubrovnik afterwards.
That sounds
So
pleasant.
how long have you put aside to do it?
We've put aside just over a week, so we're doing it on the 1st of May, which gives us sort of a long weekend. We thought if there's plenty of traffic on the roads, we might have a better chance of getting a lift down south from up in Nottingham. So yeah, just over a week. It'll be about 9 days. We'll obviously, the only thing we can do is book our flight back. So there's more incentive to do it quicker, because then we get longer when we're obviously going to be.
Be honest, will there be a cheeky MasterCard or American Express tucked away somewhere in your money belt, which I hope you are taking, because that would be the wise thing to do?
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to seal it. So we're going to seal it in a box. So we will obviously smash it once we're there, because you can't have a couple of nights in Dubrovnik. I don't think without sampling some of it. But no, along the way, you know, we'll have £20 each in our back pocket. I think we can try and get there without spending any of it personally. But
Have you got? I mean, obviously you'll get so much more from when you get to Berg if you've got a translator. So are you just hoping on an English speaker, or are you going to have somebody with you?
No, that's one of the things we're going to be planning, actually. Trying to arrange for somebody to meet us there who can translate and help to show us around, and just talk to some of the local people, you know, see if we can fill in some of the gaps of what happened to his family after he left, because it is a big unknown, and it'd be great if we could come back and share those stories with the rest of our family, because I know our parents, aunties, uncles, everyone's really interested to see how it goes.
So you've had no contact really with any of his family over the years?
There was letters, I think, for a few years after, and they dried up. So it just leaves a big question mark.
there was, I mean, obviously the political instability within that area throughout the 80s, 90s was well documented in that. And I think there are a few rumours, let's say, about, you know, ethnic cleansing and things being burnt to the ground and things like that. I mean, certainly looking on Google Earth now, we've actually zoomed in and you can sort of see the path that he did talk about where he escaped, but there isn't a lot there. So yeah, it would be fascinating to see what we find.
And you're doing it for Alzheimer's Society, so I take it did he have Alzheimer's at the end? Is that what he?
He did, yeah. Unfortunately, he battled with it for probably about 3 years, something on those sort of lines. So I think anybody out there who's listening, who's seen a family member or a friend or anything like that go through it, it is just one of the most debilitating, horrible things you can watch someone you love go through. And I think it's something that's massively on the increase and probably not as well funded as some of the other things.
No, exactly.
So I think we're very much committed to raising as much money as we can because it needs investment in massively.
And what's your dad made of this quest?
He thinks we're mad. No, it's the same as I think he probably wishes he could come with us, but obviously he's still got the day job at Coventry City.
Yeah.
So he's very interested to see how it goes and what stories we come back with, and like I said, whether we can fill in some of the gaps with what happened to everyone.
Did you inherit any of the footballing genes, fellas?
I had everything except talent. No, Sam was probably a bit better.
Yeah, I played a bit of non-league football. A goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
The only thing I inherited was his nose and his kicking.
And you Cov fans?
Yes.
You are, as along with our producer there, Tom Cov. Lean times for Cov. During the transfer window, every day we'd ask longingly of our transfer expert, Cov signed anybody? I think we had a loan one day, didn't we? Had a loan.
We've had a loan today.
Yeah.
So another loan.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
From Brentford. Don't ask me to pronounce his surname.
So you said, are you going to be filming this? You're going to take some pictures, but I mean, it sounds like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
documentary potentially. This.
It's funny, a couple of people have mentioned that actually. We've got local radio are obviously going to get quite interested in it, so we're going to be speaking to them for the breakfast shows, I think, every morning that we're going to be doing it. I think filming it's definitely something we can do. We've obviously set up a few things online. We'll take our iPhones with us and bits and bobs. And there's an idea being knocked around by the Alzheimer's Society of doing kind of a welcome home party where we can maybe share some of that content with them. So yeah, a few people have mentioned that it might be documentary worthy. So if there are any television producers out there that want to bring a crew with us,
film it yourselves.
Planes, Trains and Automobiles with John Kay and Steve Martin. It's one of my all-time favourite films, and I'm just sort of thinking this is making there's a lot of parallels potentially here.
Yeah. And if people want to support you, where do they go?
Yeah, well, go to the website, which is papasjourney.com. On there, they can find a link through to our Just Giving page, which is, I think, justgiving.com/papasjourney. And they can text in as well. So they text Oggy66 and the amount they'd like to donate to 770 as well. So there are a number of different ways in which they can obviously donate. But, follow us on Twitter at Papa's Journey, like the Facebook page. It's as much about awareness as it is for the cause as it is about obviously raising some vital funds.
And will you come and see us when you get back? We'd love to find out how you got on, and you can tell us how it all unfolded.
Absolutely love to. That'd be great.
Brilliant, guys. All the very best with it. Give our best to your dad. Well, I've never quite forgiven him for 87, but there we are.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much.
Sam and Chris Agrizovich there, and we will get them back to tell us their story on their return. That's their story.